Welcome to Taking Care of Your Music Business, brought to you by the Mechanical Licensing Collective, also known as the MLC. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into the heart of the music industry, exploring how to get paid as a creative, making sure that you're receiving all the royalties you deserve. We'll also dive into building a sustainable career, sharing strategies and best practices that creators can use to achieve long-term success. Join us as we bring you interviews with top songwriters and music executives who share their personal journeys and professional wisdom on thriving in the business, all while making a living. So get ready for some real talk about navigating the music industry. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and be sure to catch all of our full episodes on YouTube.
Welcome to Taking Care of Your Music Business, brought to you by the MLC. I'm your host, Jamie Dominguez. When you think about the songs that defined a generation, the ones that moved culture forward and topped charts worldwide, there's usually a brilliant mind working behind the scenes to bring that vision to life. Today, we're sitting down with one of those architects of modern music. Jerry Wonda Duplessis is a Grammy-winning, multi-platinum producer whose work has transcended genres, borders, and generations. From producing the iconic album The Score by the Fugees to crafting global hits like Shakira's Hips Don't Lie and Santana's Maria Maria, Jerry Wonda has worked with some of the biggest names in music, contributing to hundreds of millions of records sold worldwide. But beyond the hits, Jerry understands something essential. Building a lasting career in music means understanding the business behind the beats. I caught up with Jerry at the South by Southwest Music Festival in Austin, Texas, to chat about legacy, collaboration, and navigating today's music industry, especially when it comes to ownership and protecting your work. Let's dive in. Here's my conversation with Jerry Wonda.
So let's just start at the beginning, because you have a crazy story, and your path in journey in this business and life is it's extraordinary, actually. Like, it's really something that I think everyone needs to hear, and that you need to share, because you were born in Haiti. Tell me a little bit about what growing up in Haiti was like, and how how a kid from Haiti ends up in New Jersey and making some of the biggest records of all time.
Well, first of all, thanks, Jamie, for giving me the opportunity to sit here. Or I'll be in the studio, probably cooking a song right now. But before everything, for me, I just remember playing an instrument in Haiti, in the sense where that instrument was a bass guitar, and while the music was playing, the bass lines, and every song that I create take me back to being a musician. So in Haiti, with my mom would put me in a donkey and just go buy avocado and mangoes and to sell in a flea market. But one thing we had God, and she'll make sure that we all go to church. So going into church, I fell in love with the bass, and I learned, but I wasn't allowed. I wasn't old enough. I was like 14 years old to play in the church yet, because no one knows I know how to play. But I was practicing with the neighbor, and there's a guitar player. I think he was crazy dude playing the guitar, but a guitar player they need a bass player all the time. So we stopped practicing, and he would teach me a lot of the song. And at the time, you have Bob Marley. I love learning the song for the church. And one day, the bass player for the church somehow didn't show up, and I basically was looking at that bass that Sunday, my heart shaking. And I'm like, oh my God, it's my turn to play that bass. And you have that voice that said, if you go up there, you don't do good, people gonna laugh. And the other voice say, you got one chance, you better go play that bass. I was like, okay. So I got up. The thing with bass players, when you see a bass player playing, they're always making a face, and they get the groove, get passion with the instrument. So I got on stage. Thank God the song that they were singing, those are the songs I've been practicing. So I got, I closed my eyes. And after church, there's the older lady that always the one that's singing and passionate about the music came to me and said, my son, you really brought the spirit into the service. Please keep playing. And I remember I was like, wow. And there was a girl that I like, little boy, like I never say hi. And she came to me and said, oh my God, called me by my name and said, you play good. I was like, I'm a bass player. You can tell me anything. So now that bass, I would just practice. And I got really good at it. And by the time I moved to the United States, and my dad sent me to his sister's house and said, you know what? Why don't you be with your auntie? They have a church and you're a musician, play. And that's where I met Wycliffe. And Wycliffe, my cousin, and he was waiting for me because he was in a church playing, starting a church, but I was already a great bass player. He's like, my cousin, a bass player, he's coming, moving to the United States, blah. I was like.
So you never met before, though? You and Wycliffe never met?
No. By the time I got to the house, and I already had a bass waiting for me. And we in a church playing that bass, I remember. But, I was so good, and people, they're always looking for a bass player. So there was a band. I don't speak Spanish. There was a merengue band that was looking for a bass player. And they play salsa, merengue, and they're like, yo, you want to play? I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. They're like, okay. Of course, when I got there to rehearsal and I started playing, they're like, man, you the best. So I start learning how to play merengue. Then there's another band a top 40 band looking for a bass player. So I was playing wedding band, now playing Bruce Springsteen music, Marvin Gaye, and I'm playing all this, funk. Then I fell in love playing funk music. And a bass player, like we love, I was Michael Jackson. I was like, yo, it's on. Then I started playing with a reggae band. Now musically, it helped me understand different style of music. And my brother was a chef. I still wasn't making enough money. So he invited me to be in the kitchen and work with him. And I ended up working in a restaurant. They were playing all kind of music. So our brain is like a data that pick up when people listening to like a Maria My records, they have no idea where I came up with all this music. So that's how I started. Then I fell in love with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, when you say Michael, I say, who's doing the music? It was Quincy Jones. I said, I did a research on Quincy, great musicians. I said, I want to be just like Quincy Jones. I went to school to be a recording engineer. While I was in school, it was good. They showing me how to fix cables and things. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Can I start really? And they're like, well, you need to learn the production. I said, I want to be a producer. Now, while I was doing that, the opportunity came in with the Wycliffe, my brother, and we said, let's build a recording studio. My dad ended up letting me take his basement. We put a recording studio. We didn't know what we was doing. And I remember the drug dealer would be coming to the studio, Wycliffe, and we making the beats, we cooking. So we was making money, little cash. All of a sudden, we end up producing, Lawrence started coming to the studio, John Forte, The Outsiders, and the Score album sold him, which is now the Score is like, 40 million copies sold? It was done in the basement of my dad's house, and I produced it. Then I was like, oh my God, this is it.
But okay, that's crazy. So the Booga Basement.
That's the Booga Basement.
The legendary Booga Basement.
Yeah.
When you were in the Booga Basement with Wyclef and Praz and Lauren, and you're making this record, did you have any idea that it would be that huge?
Not at all.
It's so because it's such a unique blend of all of the, you've never heard a hip hop record like that before The Score. It's like it's almost worldly, right? Like you've got reggae influence, you've got soul, you've got R&B, hip hop. Like it wasn't what hip hop sounded like at the time, at all.
Well, at the time, since we were musicians, that's what I always said. Being a great, if you really wanna get into music, I tell the young kids, you have to learn how to play an instrument. Since we were playing, Wyclef was playing the keyboards, play guitar, bass, and now we're matching the hip hop, and Lauren would always singing. We're like, hold up, how do we go ahead and add music into the hip hop? So we was like, okay, what we're gonna do, I remember Jerry on bass. They call me T-Bass, little bass. Then, we had a drummer. We had a plumber that helped me build the studio. We was like Johnny, I never forget. He'd like, yo, we're gonna play the drums. So Clef on guitar, and we had a DJ. So we make sure that every song we was doing, there was a hook. It wasn't just rap. But if you listen to The Score, it wasn't just rap music. That's when hip hop was moving a little melodic. And for a certain purpose. Yeah. How we blend music in with hip hop with the DJ. And it wasn't a bunch of instruments. It was the bass guitar and a DJ and drums. So we kept it really simple, and that's what, the refugee camp was about.
Yeah, I mean, but even culturally, that, the concept of the Fugees, refugee camp, and really, speaking to, your identity, as a Haitian who came to America, and, the impact of that on music and culture, and what you were saying, what the band was saying on that record, like the message, that was really ahead of the time. I mean, and was that always while you're writing, while you're in the studio? Was that? I mean, had to be intentional, or was it?
Well, it was for me musically, since I was a part of making the beats. It was like we went to Europe, opened for a band called Das Effects, and we see how our music when we get on stage. So we was doing music, not only we was doing music with the melodic and lyrics in a certain way, but we said when we perform, we had to catch a crowd.
Yeah.
So, and we grew up in church. It was about the crowd, do a performance. Like when we get on that stage, I remember we was Fugees, the refugee camp, the Fugees, we go on tour with the Roots. And that was the beginning of the Roots. We start at the same time, like the bottle of the band, So for us, straight out the book of, we was a bunch of kids, straight out the book of the basement, was like when we get in that stage, we're gonna give people something that they could go home and feel like they watch a show. They enjoy the music. It wasn't just about what you hear on that album, Killing Me Softly. When we get on that stage, we really perform it.
Yeah.
Like real musician. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That was the most important things for us, because we wasn't playing like, okay, go up there just with a dot machine. No, we getting our instrument. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. So that's what it was about.
Yeah, that definitely set it apart. Mm-hmm. So The Score comes out. It's huge. That propels you onto a whole other level. At that point, you're known. You're basically like the fourth Fuji at that point. How how did your producer career start, like as an individual?
Well, after the Score album, I was hot. So Wyclef and I, we was a duo. I call it the Sly and Robbie, Jim and Terry Lewis, Pharrell and Chad, things like that. When the two of us, we was getting called. Okay, I remember being in the studio while I'm working on a carnival, and we got a call to say, there's a 4-girls group that looking for a song. Can you, Clef said, Jerry, we have to work on something for them. 4 girls working to Chung King at the time. It was Beyonce, Destiny Child. And they're like, do a remix. And we did that song. That was the first Beyonce song.
Which song was that?
No, Destiny Child. If you know that song, that was the first song that Beyonce came out on Beyonce. Then after that, it was on. It was going on. Then we worked on 911 with Mary J. Blige. Then Hips Don't Lie, Shakira. Remember my beginning when I told you about playing merengue music, salsa. These are all, when it was time to do Hips Don't Lie, it was easy for us. I could say we one of the top reggaeton, because that song, that was the first style of that music came out. And that song was a classic. And then got to work with Clive Davis that asked us to do, Wyclef, Jerry, y'all need to do a song for Carlos Santana. Then, once again, that kid with the bass line, the musician. I started that bass line in San Francisco with Carlos Santana when we work in the room where Carlos said, okay, what we going to do for Carlos? Then I pick up that bass line and Wyclef, and we have Project GMB. And next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. Then we have a Maria. Then Shakira, Hips Don't Lie, and My Love Is Your Love, and work with Busta Rhymes, Alicia Keys, T.I., come on, man, John Legend. I have so many people that all that came from that Booger Basement.
Okay, we cannot just glaze over Shakira, Hips Don't Lie, though, because that song was a global, phenomenon. Okay, that changed Latin music. It put Latin music on the map in the mainstream, and that song, I think it's topped the charts in 55 countries, 16 weeks at number 1. At the time, it was the best-selling single of the 21st century. You created this song that changed the course of Latin music too. So that's legacy. You're just building legacy at this point.
Well, Shakira was always a big star in the Spanish world. Okay, but she wasn't if you was from Brooklyn, you didn't know Shakira, unless you're in the Spanish world. Right. And the whole thing, we wanted to make sure that they came to us. I remember the two people that came to the studio and say, yeah, we need that song. And once again, sometime a song is never old. Mm-hmm. That same Hips Don't Lie music, I created that. We created that for a movie dance with a band called City High that I signed. Claudette sing the same song. It's the same song we took over, put it back in the microwave, and just say, let's make it fresh, but we make it again. So that song came out twice. So I got paid twice on that song. So okay. So that's but what we did though. We add the drums, change the drums, and that's when reggaeton was just about to start. And it's how do you take an artist from a different market and insert that artist to another market, which was Shakira. Now, not only was just Latin artist, but she went into the R&B world, to the pop world, to the soul world, to the hip hop world. So that's what the song was. We was able to capture that with for Shakira. Till today, she performed the World Cup. Till today, that song is still a classic. A classic's a classic, and I'm glad I was a part of that classic.
Timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that song made her an icon.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about working with Whitney. What was that like?
Well, once again, Whitney's from New Jersey. We all know that. And I grew up in East Orange, Newark, Irvington, and I worked with Queen Latifah, of course, Miss Hill, top women, Beyonce that time, Mary J. Blige at the time. But I always want to work with Whitney.
Yeah.
And we got a call from Clive Davis, and of course, we had to meet with Bobby first, and I remember in the studio. Then we start this song on a tour bus, and My Love Is Your Love with Wyclef, my co-pilot, and we were the team together and work on that song. But when I met Whitney, there was a vibe, and I find out, any Leos in the house? Leos.
Right here.
You're a Leo too, right? So find out we have the same birthday. So that's definitely helped us to work together closer. And My Love Is Your Love is one of my favorite. And that kept a great friendship till she passed away. And, we grew up in the same neighborhood, which was lovely.
Yeah, that's wild. Michael Jackson, how did that happen?
Oh, yeah, Michael Jackson was, Michael, we got to do a remix, Blood in the Dance Floor, some song, one of the songs, which was great. And we was at the Hit Factory. All I know, we got a call and say, Michael Jackson want to come meet us. We was at the Hit Factory. The Hit Factory is one of the studio. I think your company was at the Hit Factory, 54th Street, right? Yeah. And there's a special entrance. We all use the front entrance. Michael got his own entrance. All I know, we in a bigger studio. Next thing you know, Michael Jackson didn't use the regular entrance. He had his own elevator and pop up in the studio. But he was such a nice person. I'm glad when he walked in, I was like, no, that's not Michael. What? But that stay in your head. But it was great meeting him. And I remember that he was really a sweet, wonderful man, talented, and we got to meet him. It was a great guy.
He's one of the greats.
Yeah.
The greats. Talk to me about how, you've said this before about your catalog, that you would never sell it. And, we're like in this day and age where people are buying and selling their catalog. It's become such an important asset. The finance world has definitely jumped in and they see how valuable music is as an asset. Why won't you sell your catalog?
I get that news. Someone talk to me every day. Every 2 days I get a phone call, do you want to sell? Well, remember in the beginning I said my mom entrepreneur had to put me in donkey and buy and sell. So I learned I investment. I invest into my talent, which was I invested the Booger Basement that create, that Booger Basement, Akon, create all these artists. For me, and then 2001, I built a studio. I invested a few $1 million, and I started a studio called Platinum Sounds. My first client was Tom Jones. My second client was Janet Jackson. And so that studio, for me, the only way I was able to build that studio because of my publishing and doing a lot of production. I put millions into it. So after that, keep building up that catalog. I feel really connected to my catalog. My songs are my babies. It just happened to be last year. Finally, I did sign a crazy contract, but finally I got my catalog back. So I own my catalog 100%, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that catalog, even with Sony TV, they're offering me. They're like, why don't you take money? We give you this. I was like, no, thank you. I'm not selling it. And why I feel connected to it, I like slow money. Every quarter, I get paid for my BMI, for my Sony TV, and I own it now. I do whatever I want because that's my baby. And if I take the money now, there's two things. There's a way that I could just go ahead and say, I could take the fund and go invest it different places. I'm doing that anyway. I have different investment, different places anyway. Or, and still go figure it out, at least you're going to end up between 20 to 38% in my tax bracket. And it's going to be in the news. By the way, we refugees. We have a lot of families. Everybody gonna be like, yo, I just saw you pull up, I don't want to see the numbers, okay? Can we get this? Can we get that? I'm like, slow down. It's okay, keep it low. So I won't sell. That don't mean I'm never going to sell. I'm not saying that, but guess what? My God, it would take a lot for me to really sign that to any corporation.
I mean,
It's gonna take a minute.
Bob Dylan later in life, right? Maybe it's a.
That's what I see that.
Yeah.
But for now,
$200 million.
I just tell you, it's not even about the dollar sign.
Yeah.
It's a mindset because I'm talking to one of the things that I'm adding right now because I bring music to the school system, to the young people, because that publishing. I remember before I have that catalog, it wasn't easy. I pay a lot of dues. And in the beginning, I lost a lot of publishing. Yes, I got the credits, but I did not know the credits come with a percentage of the song.
And was that because you weren't advocating for yourself for the splits, for your splits, or you didn't have someone guiding you through that? Why didn't you get the publishing that you should have received?
In the beginning, it was passion. It was me listening to my music on the radio. Me be like, oh my God, I was in the studio working with that all night, create this music. No one told me that you got your credit, but your credit come with something. I didn't have that information we give out today, that you getting today. And so you should be, a lot of creators should be so grateful that they get that information because that was never told about to me that you own a piece of that song, a part of the, even a part of the score. I made more money later on because the score, that album, I didn't get no publishing. But when I got paid, I got paid $150,000. I'm rich. $150,000. I'm rich. What? Thank you so much. I love you. And later on, the lawyers told me you have to sue. No, I went to get a deal with BMI. That was my first deal. And they said, well, we see your name, co-producer on that Score album. It was really good. And but it doesn't look like you got the credit, but you have a percentage. But we could go ahead. You need to get a lawyer so you could go get a percentage. And the first lawyer came to me and said, well, we're going to have to sue. I said, excuse me, what? No, I don't sue my team. Hell no. I'm not doing that. And I didn't. But what I did, I told my team, moving forward, can I make sure that I get publishing on everything? They all agreed that I get a percentage. And I didn't want to mess up. Every night I'm making $2,500 on stage or $5,000. I wasn't making that money. I was like, no, I'm not going to mess up that. And I'm jumping on stage getting paid and at the time. So I didn't mess that up. And I think that was the best decision. And one of the things I'm glad, I still go back. Sometimes information is good, but information take away from the creating. Because when you're in the studio, you're losing. Your heart, while you're creating, there's that little thing that no, they're doing wrong by me. And you're taking away from the creation of the music. So I'm glad I did not know about the information, but maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at. I'm different. I guess I believe on the road that I took to be somewhere, Not, oh my God, I wish I know. Maybe if I did that, I wouldn't be having all this number one. My catalog wouldn't be where it's at right now because I don't have to work anymore. If I only work because I don't have an option because in my DNA I have to work. I do what I do.
I mean, you're the hardest working person I know. Definitely. You don't sleep. This man does not sleep. I'm telling you. It's crazy. I don't know. You have so much energy and you're constantly working. You don't have to be in the studio. At this point in your career, you really don't need to be in the studio if you don't want to. You're making money in your sleep with your catalog. Lots of money in your sleep. So, I mean, if knowing what you do know now, would you have done things differently with the Fugees and how that all went down?
No.
No.
I think I'm somebody that like peace of mind, and I like to add value in everybody's life. If I know you need something, I'm going to. And the only thing is, I could sit back here and have a story to tell. That I look back and say, maybe they could have, helped me out on that. But it doesn't matter. It's where I'm at today. It's what I'm doing today. Sitting in front of you today is the most important. And adding value to the young student. I got over 600 students that I work with that want to get in the music business. So I'm telling them, the do's and the don'ts and the information that they need to know. I think it's more important.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important story. That lesson that you learned definitely propelled you in a different way, probably, to create A Hips Don't Lie and Carlos Santana's, Maria Maria and all of these giant hits. Maybe it wouldn't have happened that way if you had been so comfortable, or maybe you just would have kept doing hip hop. I don't know.
Oh no, maybe it would have been so much better. It's just that maybe I would have done so much more, but I just believe that where I'm at today, I'm comfortable, and that's more important. And I'm sitting on the board of the academy, learning so much information with the Grammys. There's a few company that I'm sitting on the board. I'm partner of, one of the company that I'm working with the artists, Techtotainment that I'm working on, helping out for songwriters. There's Vassar College where I sit down on the board for, with art and but education that I'm doing different, going to different countries, different state, adding value. You pick music, I'm there. That information, I make sure all the young people I'm working on, I'm giving that. And my studio in New York called Platinum Sounds. Any of you in New York, you should visit. And it's like we have a lot of intern we giving from NYU students, from all the infrastructures. We adding a lot of value. For me, give back is the key. That's where my heart. If you ask me right now what I love doing, my most important thing is give back to people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And what you do for those young kids is life-changing. I mean, music changed your life, definitely, right? I mean, you've had a crazy life, and you've done a lot. What's left? What's left to do? What do you want? What does the future hold?
What left for me to do is just doing this. I want to do more of those and go to different part of the world, make music. I'm working on a song right now that I'm so excited, and that's part one. And I'm so excited to add in value because music connect people, connect culture. And there's something that just happened in Jamaica right now where they lost housing and with the hurricane they had. And we know how much we all love Jamaica, so I decided to do my own version of We Are the World for Jamaica. I have 70 artists on it, and one song. I've been working on it for 3 months, and I'm talking about artists like, it goes from Gwen Stefani, that no doubt, to Melissa Etheridge, to Busta Rhymes, T.I., Wyclef, and UB40, and it's really quick. The culture is crazy. 40 different artists. So for me, and I'm doing it. My partner on it is Buju Banton. You know, I don't know if you guys know Buju. We got Buju and all these artists, and we're going to raise funds. For me, those are legacy for me, and I know I'm working on finding the next Whitney Houston, the next Lauryn Hill, the next Wyclef, the next Akon, the next Busta Rhymes, the next Michael Jackson, the next Shakira, because I'm bringing music to the high schoolers. Some of the high school I'm working with, 80% are Hispanic. Some of them, 80% is all black school, and the other one, Portuguese school, and the Haitians, more the island, the Africans, for me, that's the value where I'm at. And I won't stop because that's God put me in this world where I was. I don't even remember the kids that I grew up when I was 8 years old, because a lot of them not alive, came from a country like Haiti, that's suffering. And music took me here. And God gave me, really handpicked me and put me in this spot. So give back for me. My life for me right now, I'm all set, and now it's just add value, give back. That was my purpose.
Yeah. What's your favorite song that you ever produced?
Probably not your favorite song, Hotel Rwanda. I got a Golden Globe nomination for that, and because it was what it was stand for, genocide, and it was a song that anytime. I left Haiti because I went to Haiti around that time where the last president left, and it was a lot of killing in Haiti, and we was helping with the gang. Then by the time we land at the airport, they're like, "There's a movie coming out. We want to. Can you guys watch it and give us a song?" And that was a really special song. And I think that song means a lot to me. But every song I produce, they're all special to me. They're my babies, and there's a story, behind it, what I was going through in life, happiness or sad or anything. I have too many favorite, but that one is just really special to me. And I bought a bass guitar just for it, a different fretless bass. I remember to play on that record. It's really good.
That's dope. Is there an artist that you haven't worked with yet that you would love to collaborate with?
You know what? I do have a few artists that I haven't worked with, but when the time is right, because I work with anybody. Remember, my style is everything. Like, I go from country music to hip hop to R&B. I'm a musician. For me, all I want to do is create great music with legacy, and I pick. I don't go in the studio because somebody say go in the studio with an artist anymore. It was a time, oh my God, work with that person. No, it gotta mean something, and I gotta click with you. Yeah. Any artist right now, I work with the best already. So for me, it gotta mean something, and I'm not running so hungry to just be in the studio with art. I'm in the studio, I create my own music. I have a catalog, over 10,000 songs that people haven't heard yet. Probably like 20 of Melissa Etheridge, Wyclef 50, John Legend 20, Mary J. Blige 10 I haven't put out, Miss Hill, so many. I have a whole Fugees album nobody heard yet.
What?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, nobody heard yet. That's me.
We're gonna talk after this. I'm starting a label. Seriously, that's crazy. Yeah. Do they know that you have that?
They know they have some that they don't know.
They know now.
Well, I was with Miss Hill the other day. There's anybody the Score album. If you listen, there's a song Cowboys. That one song. It's always one of my favorite records on that Score because there's a guy named John Forte. And he passed away about a couple months ago. And I went they did a special for him. And I went there, Wyclef was there, and Miss Hill, we all show up. And we didn't know. Maybe they know they was going to be there. They didn't know I was going to be there. I didn't know they was gonna be there. I show up and I was there. And the minute we're looking at each other, we was like, oh my God, let's perform. And by the way, we don't perform for a long time. And they're like, that's an instrument. There was a bass. I pick up the bass. And Lon pick up the microphone. Wyclef pick up a guitar. We was like, what we doing? What key was Sweetest Thing was? And I was like, okay, Sweetest Thing. We did that. Okay, what key was Killing Me Softly? What key we played? B flat. Okay, and all of a sudden we didn't have a drummer, but you just see, oh my God, it was the most acoustic. Think about you listen to this song acoustically. And for me, and we're looking at each other, we was like, we should do an acoustic set. And I was at SOB's the other night. Lauren was there. Boogie said, Jerry, don't forget, we got to do an acoustic performance. But that's what I'm talking about, musicianship. And we all connected with that. I would never let money come in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Because that's what music for me, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? So there's a lot, I'm looking for a lot of new artists because all I want to do, sit down with a new artist. I love new artists. You know why? Because they're so open. When I work with Miguel, oh my God, we have so many songs, but with Miguel, we playing rock guitar, it's concentrated. It's like, for me, I love musicianship. You play guitar, come on, you got great vocals, I'm gonna go pick up my bass, let's go crazy. So for me, that's what I wanna do.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing bass, you have the giant smile on your face and you look so happy. I've never seen you happier than when you're playing bass, honestly.
Oh, thank you. Well, playing bass guitar is one of my favorite things, and I'll never stop playing.
No, you're kind of good at it, so.
Yeah, thank you.
What makes Jerry Wonda a great producer?
A great listener. If you think about working, I go from hip hop to R&B to, the other day, I was in a studio. I was doing a reggae record. Like I'm doing the Gym for Jamaica with the 70 artists. And I was there. A few artists that come in on the song like, Jerry, can you have a beat? Can we do something? I have one of the record that I just did a couple months ago. A month ago, while I was doing vocals with T.I. came to my studio, we recorded in my studio, and he's like, yo, Jerry, I'm done. I got a little more time. I said, yeah? I said, Buju, give me a hook. And I cooked that beat right away, and he's not even out with one of them other 10,000 songs I told you I got. And he just went, and that was the first record with T.I. and Buju. And so for me, that's what I'm talking about, organically. Create music. Forget about rules. So for me, every style of music. I could do a country record. I could do a merengue. I could do a bachata record. Cumbia. Hip hop. So Melissa Etheridge, we have like 20 songs. And guess what Melissa Etheridge listened to? Reggae music, hip hop. She know more hip hop records than me. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's what I'm about.
That's awesome. I wonder do we have time for Q&A? Yeah? Okay. Does anybody have questions? Do you want, you cool to do Q&A?
Please. Yeah, please. We have a microphone or, yeah.
Yeah, let's do some Q&A.
Yeah, please. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's the sound of the baby right in the house. Come on. That's good. I'm going to sample that. I'm going to make a track. I'm going to sample the baby. Hi. Sure. It's on. Let's go.
So, technically, I'm not supposed to be saying anything, but I think I speak for everybody in here. So, when's the other Fugees album coming out? Since you said it, it's been in my head. I done sent 4 text messages already. Yeah, we need that, for sure. But thank you for everything that you've done, for sure, man.
Thank you, brother.
I had a question. So whenever you create music, how do you know when something is finished and it doesn't need to be touched? Like, do you have somebody in your team that, you play stuff that you've been working on and you depend on them to say, oh yeah, don't touch that, that's done? Or do you kind of serve that purpose yourself? Like, what do you think?
Listen, man. I love, by the way, the hat is a swag. It's
Likewise.
a swag. I just gotta say that quick. You know, that's family right here. The key is a song never done till it's mastered. Because we could always go back, and when we're recording, we keep adding things. There's a reason that Killing Me Softly or Carlos and Maria, I don't know if you listen to those songs. Killing Me Softly had a whole full music, you know. Even there's a few versions. That song ended up, while we were mixing, we're like, hold up, drum and bass, space. It doesn't matter. And for me, I always love when the chorus is just, and when the verses are simple. And when the chorus come in, you build it up. And remember, nothing take away the lyrics and the melody. And don't get married to a part. Because we're like, oh my God, I love this part so much. And your best friend come in and say, I don't know. If I was you, I wouldn't put that. So bring people in when you're creating. And for me, when I'm in the studio, I love when people don't do music. They have no idea what an instrument is. And these are the people I listen to a lot. I'm like, what do you think on that mix? They're like, well, I think this is good. That. I'm like, okay. Unless you feel like they're trying to be a producer now. Now, the minute you have to. So a song is never done till it goes out, because you could always remember, don't get married to a part, but keep adding everything that's in your head. Then after that, get ready. It's like you go to the supermarket, you're cooking, and you go to the supermarket, you buy everything. How often you use everything? But you make sure everything is there. So for me, leave as simple as possible. And you're a wonderful musician. I'm a big fan of your talent and your legacy. I like that. I see you got a long way going, because the musicianship is really important, and your voice is wonderful. I'm a big fan of yours. Yes. Yeah. So that woman next to you, I met her many years. Oh yeah, you could clap for him. He deserved that clap. Young artist, okay? And the person next to you, I didn't know. I was always in the studio. She's the first one that came to the studio and say, iTunes. iTunes. Was like, what the heck is iTunes? Yeah, she was the one that said, but thank you for coming to this panel. Yeah, please.
Hi, you are a legend for us. I am from Brazil, and I want to know if you know Brazilian music and if you like it, and do you think you have space to be worldwide, the Brazilian music?
One of the 10,000 songs that I have, I have funk music on it. Funk, there's funk music on it. And Brazilian music, I love it so much, and I've been doing that over 2 decades. And there's an artist named Daniela Mercury. I'm a worldwide. I go everywhere. India, China, I'm everywhere. So, but Brazilian music is so wonderful. There's different style of Brazilian music. Especially right now, if you're going like the super, the gutty, the in Brazil, they have that style, that funk music. It's so good, and we're using it. Even I'm putting on R&B music now. I'm putting on pop music, and it's because it's all about the, what do you call it? The style, the instrument that we add into it. There we go. She started moving already. So Thank you. I love Brazilian music. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, all the way in the back. You got a question? Yes.
What would be your, or if you could give any advice to somebody that is in music and creating a good hook? Do you have a process? Do you have a process or a formula on creating a good hook?
Is it as a producer, as an artist?
As an artist.
Okay. Creating a good hook, you saying? A song? I'm trying to catch what you were saying.
Yeah, like when, I guess something that's catchy, something that's, you say keep it simple. I would assume that kind of goes into the process of like making a good hook, even when producing your music or producing a song. I guess, yeah, is there a formula? Do you have some sort of a process on what you use kind of to, I guess, make something catchy or good or I don't know. I don't know if I'm asking it right. I'm sorry.
No, you're asking a great question. Because what happened, a verse telling the story, the hook is just locking in. And because you repeat the hook over maybe 4 times in a song, that's what people going to remember. And if you think about people, sometimes they make a hook, a song of a hook where they make it so complicated. Remember, a hook, you have to keep bringing back. So your verses break it down. The hook take you there.
Thank you.
As simple as possible. And if you have, well, I always tell people when you're doing a hook, always leave like a little post and a hook. The post take you is the magic. Or even a pre-hook. Because you got the verse, you got a pre-hook. Because a lot of song format, people say, that's my intro. I start with the verse, then I go pre-hook, and there's the hook. That's the second verse, then I go with the pre-hook, that's a hook, then that's my bridge. Or people say, I start with the hook. Once again, it's all about the story. Thank you. Yes.
It's okay.
Who's next?
You can go ahead.
Yeah.
I can go next.
Where do you feel that they,
There's a mic.
hello, where do you feel like they waste their most money and their time starting their career?
Okay, first, I always said, remember, you're not selling clothes. You're not selling housing. You're selling music. It's a song. Put your time and create a great product. Because a lot of artists, they're not putting time on the product that they're doing. They're doing everything else. But it's more about focus and getting a great, great EP.
Fan base? Or-
Yeah, the music. Then after that, a lot of money gonna spend, especially now in marketing, real estate, saying location. I say, artists, marketing is the key. You have to invest on it. People gotta know. You have to invest on yourself, and that's the key. But don't forget the product. And stop thinking so much of the business, and you start not thinking about creating something good. Because I always said, people could steal from you, but one thing they cannot take from you, your soul, your talent. Because when you give great music, your content, somebody gonna catch it. Yeah, the first contract gonna be wrong. But I tell you, you could always get out of contract. There's no contract on this planet you cannot get out. Yes, you will get out a contract. But when you give them great music, your music travels. Your music travels is gonna get you to places. And there's a movie, I don't know if anybody watched this movie called Searching for the Sugar Man. Anybody knows about that movie?
Great movie.
Yes, such a great movie, because that's when your talent come first. And at the end of the day, this guy think he wasn't famous. And he was the Michael Jackson in South Africa. And they thought he was dead. The next thing you know, he goes there, he makes so much money, and he thought he was, almost gave up. And I think he might have come from Austin or Texas somewhere, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, but I don't want to give too much about the movie. Focus on your craft first. Focus on your talent. Let's focus on that. And you got everything gonna work out. Always work out.
I think that's probably almost like a good spot to wrap up. One last piece of advice that.
I think there's
one more.
One more.
One more.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, first of all, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you being here. My name is Cannon. I'm an artist out of Chicago. Now I live in Phoenix, Arizona. You've worked on so many timeless records, right? You've worked with artists like Shakira, mega artists from Colombia. You know, my family's from Colombia, Barranquilla, Cartagena, Santa Marta. You know, so it's an amazing moment to see you here. What do you feel an artist may be missing? What emotional ingredient do you feel like an artist misses to make these timeless classic records? And if there were a 30-second moment you had with an artist where he walked in the studio or you walked in the studio with him, what would gravitate you to this artist as well?
For me, I need something that the artist got that's really special. What is it? What make you different? Okay? And a lot of time I work with artists that don't play instrument, but the voice is something special about the voice. It's like every artist, you know, like you say Shakira, you know that's Shakira. You know Lauryn Hill, you know that's Lauryn Hill. You know, when you say Chicago, you know John Legend. It's a certain artist that even Akon I work with from the beginning, had his own thing. Every artist I work with, I look for something that when an artist, you have it, you know. And I need somebody that just like, don't settle for less. Let's really sit down and come up with what style of music you want to do. Do you want to copy somebody? Can you be you? Because we're not copycats. We're not going to copy nobody. Let's put energy on you. And if you don't have the pen, you have the voice, I'm bringing the pen person. Remember, there's artists, there's writers. A lot of writers don't want to be an artist. That's what they did, but they're so dope. And there's an artist that have the voice. Beyonce didn't write most of her records. A lot, even Michael Jackson had writers, but he was a great writer. John Legend, so many artists that I work with, they're great writers too. But at the same time, you have artists that say, I have to write my own song. But that's not what you do. Let's do that. You have the voice. All I care about, what's your talent, and I will catch it. And if you don't have it, I'm gonna send you home. Come back and see me in a couple months. That's it. That's good? All right. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Jerry Wonda, y'all. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Taking Care of Your Music Business. Don't forget, you can watch full video episodes on our YouTube channel, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.